All right, today we're going to change up the pedal board. My pedal board has been in its current state for almost 2 years. I've decided to change out my drive pedals, my overdrive pedals, for a couple of different sounds. I've started using a few new guitars that have some different pickups in them, and it's leaving me wanting a slightly different tone and sound. So here's my pedal board that I've been playing for 2 years. You'll notice that the Iridium, that's not going anywhere. That is my favorite amp simulation pedal. Over on the other side of the board, we have my Line 6, which is my wireless pickup system. And then we have the chromatic tuner, the Boss chromatic tuner. I've tried a lot of other tuners. This is my favorite one, so it stays. And then my TC Helicon Vocal Create XT pedal, vocal pedal, which I've done a video on this before. It's linked below if you want to check that out. Next to that are my 3 modulation pedals. I don't use them a lot, but I use them some, and so they're going to stay. The Fathom is probably the pedal that I use the most. It gives me that huge reverb sound, massive sound for worship. And then the Lilian is a phaser pedal, and the Julia, which gives me just a beautiful modulation sound. Don't use it a lot. Tried to use it on all the time for a while, but if I played lead more, that pedal would stay on more than it does. But the Julia is a magnificent sounding modulation. The pedals that are going to be coming off are going to be the Angry Driver and then the Tumnus. Those pedals will be leaving the board for the 2 new drive pedals. I'm going to have to make a little bit of space to get them on the board. The Pitchfork is a great idea for a pedal. It just doesn't execute well. It has a funny modulation and a funny color to it, so I ended up using it once or twice. I haven't used it since. It's taking up space. It's coming off. The Lucky Cat, a fantastic Bucket Brigade delay. I love it. I still love it. The problem is I really like the El Capistan better. And I've used the Lucky Cat. I've given it 2 years on the board. My little girls love it because it's the pink kitty cat pedal. But I plugged the El Capistan pedal in at school to do a demonstration for my general music students the other day and was just instantly reminded of how amazing the El Capistan pedal is. So the El Cap pedal is going on, Lucky Cat pedal is coming off. Alright, so here we've changed the pedal board. I have not fully hooked up the Deuce Coupe yet. It is powered, but I've got to get a longer signal cable, and so I've ordered that. This is going to be a secondary pedal anyway. It will not be my primary overdrive. I'm going back to the Morning Glory as my primary overdrive. So we are coming out of the wireless transmitter, or receiver I should say, wireless receiver, into the chromatic tuner, out of chromatic into the Morning Glory. We'll go out of the Morning Glory into the Deuce Coupe, out of the Deuce Coupe into the Julia, and then from Julia to the Lilian, Lilian to the Fathom, from the Fathom over to the El Cap, and then from the El Cap into the Iridium. Again, this is my vocal pedal, the TC Helicon, and then this will actually trigger the Morning Glory, the second gain stage. So if the Morning Glory is on and the blue light's on, you can trigger the second gain stage, which turns the LED light to red, letting you know that you're in the higher gain stage, and then back. So for all practical purposes, it's like having 2 overdrives. You can kick it into high gear with the gain switch. So here is, I know you want to hear it, I'm using a Telecaster, which is probably the main guitar that I'll end up using most of the time whenever I play. I typically play a Fender amp, so it's in the round position, and then I go to the Beast setting because I really like Blues Juniors combo amps, so that's a Blues Junior setup. And then the Morning Glory. That's just my guitar playing a little hotter. I do use my volume knob quite a bit. Second gain stage. It really breaks up. That's really the kind of a tone that I like most of the time. And then I play rhythm guitar most of the time. I will play with the El Capistan on for the entire duration. I roll back the mix just a tad. I keep it in the single position, mode A. I roll back the wow and flutter and the tape age. I keep the repeats at about 12 o'clock. Something like this. The Julia is going to give you a little bit of modulation sounding. This reminds me a little bit of the modulation sound of the Memory Man delay, which is another delay that I absolutely love. I would say if it was between the Memory Man, Deluxe Memory Man, and the Clockwork by J Rocket, I would probably take the Clockwork, honestly. But the Memory Man has just an amazing sounding modulation to it, and the Julia replicates that almost perfectly. But for whatever reason, the Julia kind of has a particular like wave to it that even the wow and flutter doesn't really give me. So it's wonderful for big sounds. And then the Lilian is a fantastic phaser. I use this effect the least, but I love the pedal. And then for really big songs and big sounds, it's the Fathom. It'll sustain forever. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. Can't wait to see you on the next one.